Yo, what is good, guys? Charles from Team COG here, coming at you guys here with an undefeated Mermail deck profile, fresh out of back from locals. Actually, just got a locals maybe 2 hours ago, and we ended up going undefeated, which again, it's a small locals, nothing to be bragged about. Actually, a lot of these duels will be put on the point of view. Some duels coming up. I went into this locals knowing one combo, and that's just the Mool and Rip combo. And as you guys will see from the point of view, I definitely have a lot of learning I need to do, but just this deck is so rewarding. It kind of reminds me of Isolde Infernobles before we lost Isolde and we could hand loop with Connector and we could play through stuff. But I decided to play this deck because I felt like it traded very well with weak hand traps, and then it played very well through the powerful hand traps such as Droll, Fulwaros. Shifter does suck, but it is what it is, right? The no deck is impervious to every hand trap. But I definitely have a lot of improvement to do with this deck, and I plan to really grind with this deck and learn it. And yeah, so without further ado, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and hit that join button if you want to get knighted or now crowned, especially since we're playing Mermail. So I'll go ahead and show my deck profile. I believe this is probably very cookie cutter, and I'll actually show my side deck too and discuss it because, like I said, I am growing to learn this deck. So I need the community or people out there to just reach out and, help me grow and learn how to play this deck better too. So anyway, we'll go and start out with 3 Netibus, the Atlantean Prince. I feel like every deck should have a Prince, dude. This card is so insane. So crazy. Triple Dragoons. I remember a time when this card was still at 1, and it's crazy that it's back at 3. Triple Abyss Shrine, the Atlantean Spirit. This card is so cool. This card lets you beat so many hand traps and play through Droll and stuff like that just by hard opening it. Double Poseidra and 1 Infantry. So Poseidra is the only one I think this is all standard. Poseidra is the only one I really want to talk about because I kind of miss Megalo. I really want to test with Megalo playing 1 Poseidra and 1 Megalo because Poseidra's only real utility is going second. Otherwise, you're just pitching it. Maybe under some weird scenarios, you're summoning it out to make a level 7, so you can go into the Poseidra, the King of the Ocean, or whatever. But most of the time, this card sucks when you're going first. So you want to see it more so when you're going second. So maybe playing Megalo, because sometimes Megalo's utility come up, ditching 2, searching the equip spell to be able to Monster Reborn, being at level 3 to allow you to go into Synchro 10s, it just, and being able to, going second too, essentially these cards do the same thing, going second, kind of. Megalo and Poseidra, Poseidra being able to return cards, solve 2 cards with 1, and then Megalo being able to tribute and attack twice is still kind of crazy, but this is it for the Mermails. Hands down, favorite card in the entire deck is Prince. Like I said, I think every deck should probably have an Atlantean Prince. It's just crazy this card facilitates so much, and most of your 2-card combos revolve around this card too. Onto the Mermail side, Triple Teus. Now, I've seen some people cut this down to 2. I like 3, and just because I'm bad at the deck still, but I like 2. I think you want to see as many, you only have multiple, so many ways to Prince, so if Prince is the key of the whole combo, you want to play as many ways to get to Prince in 2-card combos as you would. So, same theories there. Triple Mermail Abyss Spike. If this doesn't tell you that I'm playing Coelacanth, now you should know. This card, you have to play 3 of these just to have mandatory for the Coelacanth. I do know there's pure versions, and I know the whole debate in the community and all this stuff that's going on. I know Coelacanth has more bricks, which of course you're playing. If you followed Patrick Hoban, his Road to the King, you should only really have roughly 6 normal summons, but we have 3, 6, and then no one's gonna believe me, but if you play the deck, Mermail Shadow Squad can also be a normal summon because you can normal summon Shadow Squad, pitch Dragoons, and search for stuff. And it just allows you to get your engine going. So you play a lot of normal summonable cards, but Pike is just mandatory to be able to play through. Even if you open one, Coelacanth being able to summon 2 and the Gluttonous is still, or your choice of tuner is still super powerful. So I think that maybe as time goes on, I'll move away from the Coelacanth, but I think it just benefits and it plays through so many hand traps, and in a hand trap defiant game, YuGiOh has literally progressed ever since Blue Eyes has come out. That so there's 20 plus hand traps still being played. It kind of feels like we're still in Snake Eyes if you look at the hand trap ratio, but with slightly less. So I think that it's just you have to be. It's also a good starter. It's its own combo piece. Normal Pike plus Squad is still pretty insane. But I'm moving on. Triple Mermail Shadow Squad. Not really much can be said here. This is it for your Mermails. This allows you to level manipulate, summon from the deck. It's pretty cool. If I remember right, I might have did this wrong. If you go Abyss Teus pitched Shadow Squad, Abyss Teus is mandatory. But I also think isn't all of them mandatory. So you get to construct your chain links if they're both mandatory. But anyway, that's it for the Mermails right here. Like I said, maybe one day I'll get Megalo fit in here because I like Megalo. But we'll just see. The days of Megalo attacking for game might be gone, but like I said, we'll just see. Like I said, we're growing with the deck. To the free real estate water monsters, Moulin Glacia, the Sea Cow, Deep Sea King, Coelacanth, like probably the MVP of the deck, the Gluttonous, and the Minstrel. So I know, if you guys don't know, these cards are pretty insane. Super Deep Sea King, just being able to play through so many hand traps and being able to facilitate so much. And being a level 7 is almost like Shrine was made for Coelacanth to be utilized. These two cards are probably the most talked about, Hand Ripping and Hand Knowledge. So I believe this is like a catch-22, unpopular opinion, but if your deck plays like 30 plus hand traps and like 10 1-card starters, or 20 hand traps and 21 card starters, like that's kind of the game, right? So like we have access to these cards. Like, is it fair for me to see your hand? No, but is it fair for you to open like 4 hand traps or like 5 hand traps, draw your 1-card starter and beat me because I didn't draw those hand traps? It's a never-ending cycle and confliction. But the one thing I do like about these cards is the ability to get hand knowledge, and then I like the aspect of where I think it truly shows your skill as a player, like it used to do back in Infernobles. You see the hand, you can structure board depending around the hand. If they have board breakers, you try to rip those board breakers in the sense of Molten Glacia. You could also play like Trishula if you wanted to be able to like rip those cards as well. I was testing Trishula and I actually like Trishula, but the extra deck space I'm not too familiar with. I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm still in the white belt of water foo. I'm if I call me my bald ass Avatar Aang because I just mastered fire, I'm trying to learn water. So until I master it, like maybe that's something to go for. But it just seems like once you figure out what they have in their hand, you need to construct a board depending. You see board breakers, you're trying to go for Mulan to be able to rip those board breakers or make them less impactful. You see more hand traps, you're trying to hit the most prominent hand trap that hurts you, play through it. You see nothing but engine, you try to use this to hit the worst engine, or the best engine card they have, and then you can like later on synchro climb into the Prima Donna and then synchro or link it off, sending it to the graveyard, shuffling back that banished card and pretty much looping them for 1. But Gluttonous is pretty cool because not only is it like a level 3 tuner, it's an extender because like it allows you to Monster Reborn. It's just, yeah, these are pretty cool, pretty good cards. I used to play Element Saber, so I really like this. Fun fact, my favorite Element Saber is Pyrex, I think, whatever is the fire one. But yeah, I really like these cards because like in a format where you're just getting hand trapped nonstop, being able for them to hand loop themselves with hand traps because your deck is hard to interact with, and then looping them for 2 more cards or 3 cards is just like, call it my evil like villain arc, but like I like it a lot. Moving on to the last card, I am playing One Abyss Sting Triana. I know some people opt not to play this. My skill level, I think, justifies playing it. Maybe one day I'll choose not to, but I actually like it as a very powerful extender and a shuffle back resource. So the deck does have a little bit longer of a grind game. And it's an equip spell. Like, this is literally Infernoble, but water style, you know what I mean? So anyway, hopefully nothing gets ever touched on the list with this deck, and maybe it will one day, who knows? But I think the deck is pretty fair, requires a very skillful person to play, and hopefully Konami takes that into account, and instead of just like banning his old, because that was unjustly done, and I will die on that hill. But anyway, to the non-engine, that's another reason why I like this deck. You can still play a big hefty amount of non-engine, not a lot, but like 12 to 15 cards, which is decent for this deck. As you can say, this is all engine here. So you're onto 3 Perilia. This is the best non-engine you can play of the Mulchummies because it's a water, so it allows you to discard, normal summon, etc. Level 4, so it's still good. Ash Blossom, best hand trap in the game. Dominus Impulse, you're a water deck, you don't get hurt by this. Infinite Impermanence. And then I opted to play 2, 1 Call by, 1 Triple T. I think these cards, like again, Triple T is just kind of, these cards like bleep out hand traps essentially, and then if you do get hand trapped, you get to like rip 1 more additional card, putting them on only starting either with 1 or no cards, which is, pretty crazy. Thanks for hand trapping me, dingus. Now like you get punished. But I only wanted to play 1 Triple T because I have a love-hate relationship with this card. Like this, I used to be a pro advocate for this card, but now like I seem to just making the wrong calls. I look at hands when I should draw. I draw when I should look at hands. But maybe with Minstrel being in the list, Minstrel being able to look at the hand prior, I can just go ahead and like draw 2 and stuff, drawing in more extenders, non-engine. But yep, this is pretty much it for the non-engine here. 40 cards flat. Like I said, I really enjoy this deck. I think this deck has a lot of potential, a lot of skill behind this deck. It's not just any guy who can pick it up. My mind is literally fried from playing the deck, and you guys will see in the point of view duels. Like there's like a particular point, and I'll point it out when I commentate over it. Like there's so many routes to go. Like I just kind of stutter. I'm like, what do I do? Do I freaking bring back Coelacanth from grave? Do I summon it? Like it's just kind of wild. But I enjoy decks like this, so it's awesome in my opinion. Like I've not been so excited to play until I've like actually played this deck. So moving on to the extra, I'll actually show my extra inside and discuss things. So you're playing the 1 Mermail King, not as good as the Great or the Emperor, but the King will do. Abyss Glacia, essentially this card's pretty wild. It's part of your end board, and this is also Seal's Pass, worst case scenario. For the XYZs, you got beside your Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord, the Atlantean Spirit, and a Mermail Abyss YuGiOh. Ripped my wallet, picked up the ulti because it was like a $10 difference between the Ultra, and then I think a reprint got announced for common, so I'll go cry in that corner later. But these cards are all literally insane. Abyss protects everything it points to from being targeted. Can search yourself Triana when you activate a monster effect. This card being a quick effect discard outlet allows you to like trigger some Mermail, trigger some effects and stuff. Allows you to get more disruption in the sense of like pitching like Prince to bring back Poseidra, pitch Poseidra on summon to target a card and bounce it, and then dump for cost and infantry, giving you like 2 forms of disruption and an add through. Like it's really good card economy in that sense right there. Poseidra, the Abyss, the Dragon Lord, this card literally shuffles back 3, dumps for cost, and then it's literally soul charge when you link it or get rid of it, which you can summon back level 3 or lower, which kind of made me want to play Trish, because you summon back 3/3/3, 1's a tuner, synchro to Trish, and if you're already mulling them, that's essentially 3 cards. And you also, sometimes they like cards in the graveyard, like Crystron being a rogue matchup, Labyrinth being another rogue matchup. Sometimes these other rogue strategies like those cards in the graveyard, so being able to make Trish after you've hand looped them and banish those cards from the graveyard is really cool. But like I said, I'll get better, and then maybe there is room for Trishula. Honorable mention, 1, Coral Enemy. Not much could be said. This card is just free Monster Reborn. Moving on to the XYZs, we're on to 1 Dweller. The card should probably be banned, but we play it while we got it. Double Toad, double Bahamut Shark. Not much more can be said here. Moving on, we got the Synchros, Deep Sea Diva Prima Donna, White Aura Monticeros, White Aura Porpoise, and Ice Jade Grimmer Argene. So this is where I feel like a lot of flexibility is, and I just played these because I didn't know which route to do. I didn't know what to do. Prima Donna, I feel like regardless of the variant you play, you should play it, simply because it allows you to shuffle back those crazy cards. Even if you don't play Barrier Statue, which as you guys saw, it wasn't in my main deck, I cited it because I felt that Mullen Glacier is better, and I saw a video where... a huge shout out, actually, it's pretty late in the video here, but a huge shout out to Deep Sea YuGiOh, Ryu TCG, I think is its name. They're all Mermail players. Huge like fan of them, and they're like a good resource if you're trying to learn the deck. Maybe one day I will be able to be a resource like that, but until then, those are who I use. But the guy who topped YCS Bring Him commented, said if he could go back and do it, he would not play Statue, he would main deck Mullen instead, and the reason is because it just does, it's good. But hindsight, Statue's insane as well. You can play both, you can play one or the other, your entire choice, play it, personal preference. So here's my, I didn't want to, Prima Donna was essentially my synchro target to be able to, if I wasn't citing in the statue, but like they had Dark Ruler or Droplets, essentially I would banish it and then link this off. Later on, this gets into graveyard, shuffle back that. You don't have to worry about Droplets being used on you there, right there. That's essentially the thought process. And of course, self-explanatory, if you have a cited in or play statue, you summon out statue, there you go. White Aura Monticeros, this was the other level 7, that's not a tuner. That sometimes if you didn't get access to Minstrel, you could go into this and this would reborn, and it would allow you to like climb into toads and stuff like that. It's also level 7, so then you could overlay your Coelacanth and stuff, which is really cool. The White Aura Porpoise, I don't know how I feel about this card. I don't know the combo lines with it per se. I do know that you make it because you put level 6s on the level 3s on the bodies on the field. You make it, and you can reborn level 4 and reborn another level 4, so it allows you to climb into. I think it does the same thing that Monticeros does. It allows you to climb into Bahamuts, but I'm not too sure the way. I know Monticeros, though, it allows you to like reborn out a fish. So then, like if you reborn out one of the tuners, because it's a non-tuner, you can climb into your Synchro 10, which right now I am choosing my Synchro 10 to be Ice Jade and Gimir. It could also be like your choice of Chi-Chao, whatever you want to choose. For all you Mermail veterans, water veterans, walk me through these guys. Like I feel like this is mandatory. I feel like you should play this and then one of these two. But then like if you're gonna play one of these two, should you play like something that, like just somebody down in the comment below, let me know what you guys are doing and the reasons behind these cards. Is it possible to play both of them? I don't know. You could play Sif at the level 2, which I think that would let Porpoise climb into Dragite. But then like so then is this what you play? You play Porpoise, Prima Donna, Arginine, and then Sif as your water, so then like you don't need like the Crocosaur, but then I don't know. I don't know. I'd like clearly the deck needs a lot of testing and stuff, because in my mind right now I'm like, well yeah, you don't need the Gluttonous because you just can go Minstrel. Minstrel can then do that, but like sometimes you don't get access to Minstrel, but then like you can get access to the Gluttonous because of Coelacanth, etc. Except there's a lot of stuff to account for in this deck. So comment down below the options, the lines with this stuff, please, so like I can learn and try them and see what I like. Sorry for the ramble. That is it for the main and extra. We'll move on to the side deck. I already said it. Here's one Barrier Statue. I cited it in when I knew I was going first, just as another alternative, because I feel like when they know you're going first, you get hand trapped a lot. So then when you know you're getting hand trapped a lot, you can sometimes like navigate through the hand traps and stuff and get to like Prima Donna. So then you're like your board's like Prima Donna, 1 Toad, and prince or the king, and that should be it. That's enough. Like that's enough with a shrine, and like that's crazy. So like that was the whole thought process. I didn't want to brick on him, even though like there's an argument that you can play both. Normal sometimes, like even when you're going second, you normal summon barrier statue, and then like you go Teus pitch squad, and then they can't nib you now, so like you're like off to the races. Triple Lancia, not really much to say to go against Malice. D barrier, I really thought D barrier should have been like Chaos Hunter, but when I was going first, I really couldn't think of like anything else to side in going first besides the statue, and I wanted more than just the statue to go in. This should probably be just Chaos Hunter, because I feel like it's just better. Malice is a rough matchup. Blue Eyes isn't too bad, but anyway, Lightning Storm and Harpies, in case, you play against those back row decks. I was on to double Ghost Ogre. I wish that this would have been the third Ghost Ogre, but I only have 2 Ghost Ogres, so maybe moving forward, I might just move to 3 Ghost Ogres and then play around with the extra deck, or extra side deck a little bit better. And then 3 Nib. Ghost Ogre was just there. Ghost Ogre and like the Lightning Storms were the kind of Blue Eyes. D-Bear is also a good side against Blue Eyes called Synchro, but then they just make the Seals, but at least, you can deal with Seals. Spirit Dragon is an insane oppressive card against this deck, negating our graveyard effects on separate, is just kind of powerful, but yeah, that is it for my side deck. Please, guys, comment down below what you guys play, opinions, constructive criticism, because this is where I'm struggling really, is like right here in this scenario. I know Prima Donna should probably stay in the list regardless of what you do. So you got Prima Donna, then you have these 3 spots here. I've seen combos with Porpoise where Porpoise climbs into like I said, the Dragite, but then like you have these 2 spots here, so then like maybe this becomes Dragite. Do you need Gluttonous? Is Gluttonous the way to go? Is Civ the way to go? Like, I don't know, man. So I can sit here and ramble and play hypotheticals all night. But anyway, you guys comment down below what you guys think and how you guys feel, and let me know. But most importantly, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG. We're signing out.